Dana White's gone on a rampage, and the UFC roster's getting axed left and right. But it's the heavyweight division that's truly crushed today. A UFC insider's reporting that interim champ Tom Aspinall just shot himself in the foot after demanding a title unification because he's officially out for the count. Leaked footage shows Aspinall leaving a London clinic with his eye completely bandaged, and we're hearing he needs emergency surgery immediately. He's reportedly been blinded by a freak training mishap that's totally ruined the UFC 326 timeline. But here's where it gets nasty. While Tom's recovering, the boss has already moved on. Dana didn't even mention Aspinall's name during the latest roster cuts, and fans are screaming that he's been betrayed to protect the Jon Jones Legacy Tour. Aspinall fired back on X, posting then deleting, "I've done everything right and I'm still getting sidelined." It's a total disaster, and with multiple veterans already released this morning, the message is clear. If you aren't ready to go, you're gone. Tom's dream of undisputed gold just hit a brick wall, and it's unclear if he'll ever see that cage the same way again. Is Dana White purposefully freezing Aspinall out to protect Jon Jones, or is Tom's body just giving out at the worst possible moment? Let us know in the comments.
Dana White's finally had enough, and the UFC roster just got a whole lot thinner. A UFC insider's reporting that the boss has officially axed 5 big names in a massive pre-UFC 326 roster purge. He went off during the last presser, making it clear that if you aren't finishing fights, you're gone. It's a total bloodbath, and nobody's safe. But that's not the only bombshell crushing the heavyweight division. Leaked medical reports suggest interim king Tom Aspinall's been forced into emergency eye surgery after a freak training accident. He's out indefinitely, and he's completely gutted. He didn't see this coming, and now he shot himself in the foot regarding that Jon Jones unification bout. With the division in absolute shambles, Dana scrambling to save the UFC 326 main event while he's firing back at the critics. Is Dana right to cut the dead weight? Or is he just panicking because his biggest stars are falling apart?
It's absolute carnage in the MMA world today. Dana White's gone on a cleaning spree, and he's just axed a handful of fan favorites from the roster. We're talking a massive roster purge that's left the social media war zone in a total meltdown. A UFC insider is reporting that the boss is tired of the safe fighters, and he's finally pulled the trigger on several veterans who haven't been living the fight life. Fans are already losing their minds on X. One top-ranked vet fired back at the promotion, claiming he wasn't even given a phone call before the news leaked. He's gone off on a tangent about disrespect, but Dana isn't backing down. The boss is clearly making room for the next wave of Contender Series killers, and he's making it known that if you don't finish fights, you're gone. But the news gets even worse for the heavyweights. Tom Aspinall just crushed his fans' hopes for a quick return. A UFC insider is reporting the interim champ's been dealing with a secret vision issue, and he needs immediate eye surgery. Leaked footage from his latest training camp shows him squinting and struggling with depth perception. He's been trying to hide the injury to stay in the Jon Jones sweepstakes, but he's finally realized he can't fight half-blind. The social media war zone is officially toxic now that rumors of UFC 326 are swirling. Leaked documents from the UFC HQ suggest a main event that's already being called a disaster by the hardcore fans. People are firing back at the matchmakers, claiming they've completely lost the plot. The narrative is shifting, and it's looking like 326 might be the most controversial card in years. Dana's house cleaning is far from over, and with Aspinall sidelined, the heavyweight division's a total mess. Who's really to blame for the current state of the heavyweight title? Is it Jon Jones for holding up the belt, or is the UFC failing to protect its biggest stars? Get in the comments and let us know.
It's absolute chaos in the MMA world today, and Joe Rogan's officially gone hypernova. While fans were still reeling from the news that Dana White's just axed a handful of fan favorites in a massive roster purge, the heavyweight division's been crushed by a massive blow. A UFC insider's reporting that Tom Aspinall's heading for emergency eye surgery after a freak training accident. It's a nightmare scenario that's put the entire UFC 326 card in jeopardy, and Joe Rogan's not staying silent. On leaked audio from a recent JRE taping, Rogan fired back at the promotion's ruthless management style, calling the latest round of releases insane given the current injury plague. He's absolutely incinerated the decision-making behind the scenes, claiming the UFC's shooting itself in the foot by dumping veteran talent while the top of the food chain's falling apart. Rogan didn't hold back. He went off on how the promotions handled the heavyweight title picture. He's convinced that Aspinall surgery is the final nail in the coffin for the division's credibility this year. You've got the baddest man on the planet sidelined, and you're out here cutting guys who can actually draw a gate, Rogan yelled during the segment. It's clear Joe's reached his breaking point, and he's not the only one. Insiders say Dana White's livid that Joe went public with his frustrations, but Rogan's too big to be silenced. He's crushed the UFC's PR strategy in one fell swoop, and now the fallout's just beginning. With Aspinall out for at least 6 months and the roster shrinking by the hour, the road to UFC 326 looks like a total disaster. It's a high-stakes game of chicken between the CEO and the voice of the octagon. Rogan's already proven he won't back down, and if Dana keeps axing fighters while his biggest stars are in the hospital, the UFC's in for a rough ride. Does Joe Rogan have a right to blast the company's roster cuts, or should he just stick to the commentary and let Dana end the business? Drop your take in the comments.
It's a cold winter for the UFC roster because Dana White's officially started swinging the scythe. A UFC insider's reporting that the promotions just axed 5 more names from the active roster. And let's just say, the Xmas purge is in full effect. Leading the pack of those who've been crushed is veteran gatekeeper Brian Kelleher, along with several unranked prospects who just didn't make the cut. Fans have already fired back at the decision, claiming some of these guys deserved one more shot, but Dana's made it clear he's looking for killers only heading into 2025. It's a ruthless business, and if you aren't finishing fights, you're basically asking for your pink slip. But the real shocker that's got the MMA world reeling, interim heavyweight king Tom Aspinall's just revealed he needs major eye surgery. Leaked footage shows Aspinall admitting his vision's been compromised since his last training camp, and he won't be back in the octagon for a long, long time. This news has absolutely gutted the plans for UFC 326, which was rumored to be his massive homecoming defense. Now, Dana's scrambling, and we're hearing whispers that the promotion's desperate to save the card by dragging a retired legend back into the mix. Aspinall's team stayed quiet, but the champ himself went off on a hater who called him injury-prone, saying he's sacrificed his body for the fans and won't be disrespected by basement dwellers. It's a massive blow to the heavyweight landscape, and it's left the division in total limbo while Jon Jones keeps everyone waiting. Aspinall's surgery means he's effectively out of the title picture for at least 9 months, and he shot himself in the foot by not getting this checked sooner. With the roster shrinking and the interim champ sidelined, the UFC's in a race against time to fix the UFC 326 mess before the ball drops on New Year's Eve. With all these cuts and injuries piling up, who's the one fighter Dana's axed this year that actually deserved to stay? Let us know in the comments.
The UFC roster just got a massive facelift, and not everyone's thrilled about the bloodbath. A UFC insider is reporting that Dana White just axed 5 more names from the active list, including 2 former ranked contenders who didn't see the pink slip coming. Dana went off during the post-fight presser, claiming the promotion's cutting the dead weight to make room for new blood. It's a cold world in Vegas, and if you aren't finishing fights, you're officially on the chopping block. While the roster's shrinking, the heavyweight title picture just got even more blurry. Interim champ Tom Aspinall just crushed his fans' hopes for a quick return. He's confirmed he needs emergency eye surgery. He's been dealing with a detached retina that he didn't even know he had until a recent training session went south. It's a massive blow for the UK star, and it means he won't be. The UFC roster just got a massive facelift, and not everyone's thrilled about the bloodbath. A UFC insider is reporting that Dana White just axed 5 more names from the active list, including 2 former ranked contenders who didn't see the pink slip coming. Dana went off during the post-fight presser, claiming the promotion's cutting the dead weight to make room for new blood. It's a cold world in Vegas, and if you aren't finishing fights, you're officially on the chopping block. While the roster's shrinking, the heavyweight title picture just got even more blurry. Interim champ Tom Aspinall just crushed his fans' hopes for a quick return. He's confirmed he needs emergency eye surgery. He's been dealing with a detached retina that he didn't even know he had until a recent training session went south. It's a massive blow for the UK star, and it means he won't be ready for that rumored UFC 326 showdown. Aspinall's staff says he's devastated, but he's promising he'll be back stronger, though critics say this surgery might have just gifted Jon Jones the perfect excuse to retire without ever unifying the belts. Now for the wild card, Conor McGregor's taking the notorious brand to the Holy See.
Leaked footage shows McGregor's security detail scouting high-security locations in Rome, and a UFC insider says he's planning a massive Vatican wedding. He's reportedly trying to book the Sistine Chapel for a ceremony that'll cost more than most fighters' career earnings. He hasn't stepped in the cage in years, but he's still making headlines for his bank account. He's going from throwing dollies to praying with the Pope, but fans are wondering if he's officially traded his 4-ounce gloves for a wedding ring. With the roster cuts getting brutal and Tom Aspinall sidelined for months, is the heavyweight division officially dead in the water, or will the UFC 326 main event save the year? And be honest, do you think Conor McGregor is ever actually fighting again, or is he just trolling us from the Vatican? Drop your comments below.
It's official. Dana White's gone on a rampage, and the UFC roster just got axed. We're seeing a massive roster purge as Dana's clearing house for the new year, and some fan favorites didn't make the cut. But while some are packing their bags, the heavyweight division's just been crushed by a devastating blow. A UFC insider's reporting that interim champ Tom Aspinall's been forced to go under the knife for emergency eye surgery after a freak training accident. It's a nightmare scenario that's derailed his plans to unify the belt anytime soon, and fans are absolutely gutted. But hold on, because the biggest bombshells just dropped for UFC 326. It's the news we've been waiting for. The Lioness is officially back. Leaked footage from American Top Team shows Amanda Nunes hasn't missed a beat, and she's looking more dangerous than ever. She's finally fired back at the doubters who said she'd stay retired, and the rumor mill's going off. Word is, Dana's been working behind the scenes to lure her back for a massive trilogy or a shot at the new bantamweight queen. The GOAT's return has completely flipped the script for the women's divisions. A UFC insider's reporting that Nunes didn't just come back for a paycheck, she's coming back to reclaim the throne she never actually lost in the cage. She's already gone off on the current state of the division, claiming the fire's back and she's ready to hunt. With UFC 326 shaping up to be a historic card, having the Lioness roar one more time is exactly what the fans needed after the Aspinall news crushed our spirits. It's a high-stakes gamble for Nunes, but she's never been one to play it safe. She's already shot herself in the foot before by taking fights on short notice, but this time it feels different. It feels legendary. But here's the real kicker. If she wins at UFC 326, does she retire for good as the undisputed GOAT, or is this just the start of a whole new reign of terror? Tell us in the comments, is Amanda Nunes coming back because she misses the sport, or is she just bored of seeing mid-fighters hold her belts?
Dana White's not playing games anymore, and he's just swung the axe on a massive chunk of the roster. A UFC insider's reporting that several fan favorites just got the dreaded "thank you for your service" call this morning. It's a total bloodbath behind the scenes, and Dana's fired back at critics who say the roster's gotten too bloated. These fighters didn't just lose their spots, they've had their dreams crushed in a single afternoon. We're hearing that even some ranked contenders weren't safe from the purge, and the atmosphere at the Performance Institute's reportedly tense and terrified.